Okay, I want to talk about two of the poems of Sappho that I gave you to read. They're actually called simply by the first line. They didn't have titles in the ancient world. The first one, Deathless Aphrodite. Who's Aphrodite? Goddess of love, of the spangled or shimmering mind. Child of Zeus who twists lures. And notice the footnote is the twisting lures that you use to catch a fish. I beg you to not break with hard pains, O lady, my heart, but come here if ever before you caught my voice far off, and listening left your father's golden house and came, yoking your car. Now that's a chariot, not an automobile. And fine birds brought you, quick sparrows over the black earth, whipping their wings down the sky through midair they arrived. You know, Aphrodite comes to earth carried on a flock of sparrows that all, if you've ever seen birds in flight in a flock, how they all maneuver together almost in unison. But you, O blessed one, smiled in your deathless face and asked what now again I have suffered, and why now again I'm calling out, and what I want to happen most of all in my crazy heart. Whom should I persuade now again to lead you back into her love? You hear all the now agains? I mean, it's almost like Aphrodite is pictured going, all right, what is it you want this time? Who, O Sappho, is wronging you? For if she flees, soon she will pursue. If she refuses gifts, rather will she give them. If she does not love, soon she will love, even unwilling. Come to me now. Loose me from hard care, and all my heart longs to accomplish. You be my ally. Now, a poem addressing Aphrodite is obviously going to be about love in some respect, right? But let's think about what aspect of love. Whom should I persuade now again to lead you back into her love? Who, O Sappho, is wronging you? For if she flees, soon she will pursue. If she refuses gifts, rather will she give them. If she does not love, soon she will love, even unwilling. You ever been in love? It's a risky thing because there's no guarantee that the person that you love is going to love you back. And that's the aspect of love that this poem is about. You know, being in love with somebody who is not in love with you. And if you've ever had that experience, you know it's not a good feeling. You know, the course of love doesn't always run smoothly. There's a risk involved in falling in love. And the poem is asking Aphrodite to help get the person that I love. The second one, it seems to me that man is equal to the gods. That is, in enjoying bliss, pure happiness, complete joy. That is, whoever sits opposite you and drawing nearer savors as you speak the sweetness of your voice and the thrill of your laugh. You know, if you've ever been in love, you know that you just want to be with that person. You hang on every word they say. There is nothing like being close to them. The sweetness of your voice and the thrill of your laugh, which have so stirred the heart in my own breast, that whenever I catch sight of you, even if for a moment, then my voice deserts me and my tongue is struck silent. It gets where you can't speak. A delicate fire suddenly races underneath my skin. Heart is pounding. Blood pressure rises. Body temperature rises. My eyes see nothing. My ears whistle like the whirling of a top, and sweat pours down me, and a trembling creeps over my whole body. I'm greener than grass at such times. I seem to be no more than a step away from death. It's about the physical sensation that love creates when you fall in love. It's called being lovesick. And these are universal feelings, in both poems. See, that's the thing about emotions. They are universal. You know, our thoughts are distinct and particular, but the feeling of being in love now is the same as it was thousands of years ago. But did you notice anything that maybe struck you as being strange about these poems? Who is the object of Sappho's love in both of them? What gender is the object of Sappho's love? For if she flees, soon she will pursue. If she refuses gifts, rather will she give them. Okay, in the first poem, the object of Sappho's love is female, right? In the second one, be careful here. This man is equal to the gods because he's sitting close to this girl. Now, what's odd about that? Well, did you read by introduction? What gender was Sappho? Sappho was a woman. One of the few female writers we have from antiquity. And did you notice where she lived? She lived on an island in the Aegean Sea called Lesbos. Now, what do you suppose they called the people of Lesbos? It is these poems, written by Sappho the lesbian, in the sense of inhabitant of Lesbos, that are responsible for the other meaning that we've given to the word lesbian. Now, I actually don't know how sexual this love is, because the setting for these poems are young Greek girls, junior high age by our standards. In ancient societies, girls married young, basically as soon as they reach puberty, as soon as the plumbing starts to work. And the man in the second poem is 99.99% certainty the husband that this girl's father has picked out for her, and they are getting acquainted before getting married. There was no dating in the ancient world. Marriages were arranged by families for the most part. And so, you know, they would get girls married at 12, 13, 14 years old, so that they would be, shall we say, inexperienced on their wedding night? You know, a junior high age girl can get just as jealous if her BFF is talking to somebody else as she will get if the guy that she's interested in is talking to somebody else. So I don't know how sexual the love is, but feelings are intense at that age and in that setting. And that is certainly there. Now, the love may be sexual. Ancient Greece, for the most part, accepted homosexuality without any problem. In fact, they didn't have our concept of sexual orientation, but the assumption basically was that everyone could be sexually attracted to people of both genders. Now, this young, getting married young, also relates to something that people often get confused about in Oedipus, which we read earlier, and that is the custom in ancient Greece of abandoning a child. While that's horrific to us, you need to understand that they had no method of birth control, none whatsoever. My generation is actually the first to have things like birth control pills and diaphragms and IUDs and all that kind of stuff. My parents' generation was basically the first to even have condoms. Before that, there was nothing. Now, what that meant was that in ancient times, a woman could expect to have a baby roughly every other year from the time that she got married at, say, 13 until she reached menopause in her late 40s. You would all be Mrs. Duggar, that crazy woman with, 45,000 kids and counting. That has grandchildren the same age as her youngest children. And so the Greeks defended this custom by saying we love the children we have. It was the only way they could limit the size of their families. And there is a limit to how many kids you can afford. Children are expensive. So that's the way they explained this custom. And while I'm not sure I want to go all the way in defending it, there is a point that you need to understand. Whether you agree with it or not, you need to understand that they had no contraceptives whatsoever. And by the way, I give you 2 for 1. The course you're paying for plus Reality 101 Introduction to the Real World. Let me let you in on a secret. All contraceptives have failure rates. I know. That's how we had our son. See you next time.